Today, we continue to navigate the ins and outs of earning an additional income. My name is Mokorosi, and I thank you for joining us on Wealth at Work, a show that focuses on wealth creation and education in South Africa. Our guest, Dr. Samu Dube, is no stranger to this show. She's a medical doctor, a business executive, and an entrepreneur. Hello, Samu. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for coming back. I'm always pleased to see an old face again.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jody. I hope you and your listeners are well.
I want to go straight in and just ask a question that people who make a little bit above the average probably get asked quite a bit, or if you're perhaps making more than a relative or just one or two other people. That people assume that if you're making a certain level of income, there's no need for you to make an additional income or pursue one in any way. Why would you say, having all the ventures that you do have, that it is important to have multiple streams of income?
Thanks, Jody, for that question. Actually, it's a question that is important not just for people who make average. I think it's important for everybody to do that. In our lives, we often, at times, we pursue an additional stream of income out of need and necessity, right? Mm-hmm. And that is a reason good enough for somebody to say, you know what, for me to be able to afford to put my kids through school, for me to be able to afford to put myself through another degree at varsity, I think I need an additional income. So that is reason number one. But the other reason is about risk and mitigating risk that can happen from having one stream of income, right? And I know that we are women also of faith, right? We are like God protects our sources of income. But even with that, we know that at times there is, COVID has taught us that people who have actually additional streams of income are likely to thrive if actually a disaster hits their household.
More resilient.
I think. Yes, resilient, exactly. And then the other thing, Johnny, is about pursuit of a passion. So at times we pursue an additional stream of income, not because we need that income, but because we want to do something that we love, something that we've got a passion for, something that is really making the world a better space. And you know what? It pays as well. So it becomes that additional income stream. And the last one perhaps is important in that for many people, it could be start of a new career that they may see as the career that would replace what they are currently earning or what they are currently doing. So it could be a start of something bigger.
You make 2 points that are great because like the second one I can certainly relate to. I mean, I started out making beauty products partially out of my own necessity, but pushed because my daughter was born prematurely and I started questioning the use of some of the chemicals that were there in the products that we were using. I was less reluctant to use them. And then a friend of mine just kept on pushing me. He owned a hair salon and he kept on pushing me and saying, listen, you're not the only one out there that needs this product. So can you just go into a more serious manufacturing type of environment? And also how I started out teaching, in a sense, in inverted commas, basically led to me being a lecturer. And it has given me the opportunity to, again, act on another passion whilst earning an income. And it's allowed me the flexibility to take a step back from kind of my other roles that would, in the career sense, that would be more demanding of my time and cerebral capacity.
Exactly. And Julie, when you're talking about that passion, actually yours was filled, maybe it was passion for something, whether it's organic or natural, but also it was about you using your skills and putting them to good use. There is a fourth dimension of multiple streams of income, which is about wealth building. and this particularly for women, investing in that stream of income that may be able to give you income when you are not able to work becomes a fourth dimension, because that's wealth creation, right? We're talking about wealth at work. So wealth creation and wealth building is a deliberate effort that people should actually invest in earlier on in their years, because then that actually does reap and reward dividends as an additional stream of income. And you may find that for the same job that you are doing, your colleagues may not need an additional income because they're earning more than you. And that actually, especially women, you have to hustle and add more to maintain a lifestyle that you could have been afforded by the job that you currently are holding. And I think that's an important dimension. I wanted to point to one interesting phenomenon that is about how do you negotiate that main, we say it a core or salary that is respected by the formal institutions, that's respected. So when your bank asks for what is your income, often many of us produce a pay slip, right?
Yes.
But the negotiation and how much you get also is important. You may find that for the same job that you are doing, your colleagues may not need an additional income because they're earning more than you. And that actually, especially women, you have to hustle and add more to maintain a lifestyle that you could have been afforded by the job that you currently are holding. And I think that's an important dimension, because many of us, and I think in the LSM that we are in, and particularly most of the young Black professionals who may not earn enough, they think they're not earning enough, but they may find that either men, when they are women, earn more than them, or whites, when they're Black, earn more than them. And then they hustle and they don't grow in their careers because they're busy trying to earn additional income to keep up, with the Motsepes, or to keep up with everybody else. So we should just be careful that we are not in that trap of low salary, which is your main bread and butter, just because we are not negotiating and we are being treated unfairly at work. And then we have to hustle for additional income because, again, you've got so many responsibilities and even needs. Yeah.
People might feel at this stage that I don't have the agency, I don't have the connections, I don't even have a strategy around this. How do you then begin to navigate that territory? Or how have you done it?
Yeah, so what I've done in the past is to actually benchmark and understand how much others are earning. So there are websites that are out there, but often I find some of those websites actually they tend to underestimate what people are actually getting, right? So before you go for an offer, before you go for that job, or even your current job, actually do benchmark. A benchmarking exercise, Glassdoor or Indeed type of surveys, they do publish salaries out there. Make sure you're not below that. That's number one. The second thing is, Jolie, you know what? Ask your male colleague. It may seem uncomfortable before you're negotiating for a next promotion, but ask them. So for me, I've actually done that to say, like, dude, like for this type of role, how much would you ask for? Or even at times, like, how much do you earn, if I may ask? Some people will tell you, some people will think that is a very strange question, but do ask in a genuine sense that, you know what, as you know, women are paid less. And people who are comfortable in their skin, comfortable about who they are, they tend to actually do discuss that, especially when they are a supporter, of which I always say that to every Black woman out there, try to get a white male mentor somewhere in your world who is going to be telling you some of the ropes that you have to actually climb for you to get to the top in the workplace, especially in a corporation. I think that's important, to have somebody who is going to be your ear around the benchmarking process in the workplace, whether it's inside or it's outside. And then the third thing is, when you're negotiating, practice how you're going to have that conversation. Like, if my boss says this, what am I going to say? Because there are things, there are tutorials, like free tutorials out there. Get a mentor or a coach who is going to coach you through that process of negotiation. But girl, do not sit down and say, it's okay, you know, it's just God's will. I don't think it's God's will that we are underpaid. And because when you're underpaid, guess what? You're going to tithe less, you are going to give less, and everything is going to be less. I don't think it's God's will that we are paid less. So don't just sit and say it's okay. I believe, Jolie, everybody has got that leeway to maneuver and create an additional source of income.
What would you say to somebody who is starting out from an absolute scratch? How do they map through this process for themselves to say that, listen, I'm seeking out an alternative source of income, and this is more out of necessity rather than just fulfilling my passions?
Yeah, obviously, we are not a financial advisory group, right? But I'm sure a financial advisor would advise, like, what you need to do to retire. And working with them will help you. Where do I cut back, so that I can start building wealth? One of the easiest ways to actually get started is try those sectors that will give you passive income, right? Like property. Property is one of them. Investing in shares is another. So it's passive because you may not have time. Because when you're saying, I don't have resources may be time, resources may be finance, right? So initially it's good to actually say, what is it that I can do? I believe, Jolie, everybody has got that leeway to maneuver and create an additional source of income. So passive in that you may not need to be actively involved 24/7, but it will yield some dividends later on. Stock, equities, and obviously property being a good one. But also at times, it's, you know, I've got a principle in terms of how I manage my finances. How much you spend on your current accommodation should not be more than a certain percentage. How much you invest should be a certain percentage, and how much you give back should always be a certain percentage. And within those percentages, that's where I maneuver. Then I apply the same principles in terms of my time, right? Where I say 24 hours in a day, 8 hours is for sleep, 8 hours is for paying the bills, and within that, pension. So I say pay the bills and have pension in there. The other 8 hours is what I love, like entrepreneurship ideas, newer ventures, you know, starting new things, etc., networking, doing what that is the me time around. And from there on, you're actually hoping that what you do with that spare 8 hours would end up being what you do for the rest of your life. So that's how you actually are balancing things up. So I think my advice is that just believe that for everybody, there is some room to play with. Everybody, there is some room. I don't care where you start. If, for example, you buy from Woolies some lettuce or some salad every day, maybe it's time you grow your own and have some money. I don't care if you have been buying expensive body shop type products. You know what? Vaseline works too. So you can even use Vaseline for you to get started. I believe everybody has got room to play. And at times, if you're not, you know what? One of the things that one of my mentors taught me, the best things in life are for free. At times you may need, you know, that those not high school, they were varsity graduates who bought a share in each of the companies that were listed on JSE, and they're always going to the shareholders meeting, so that not only do they network, they get free lunch, they get whatever. They have maneuvered some time, and you know the word that we use, pivoted exactly what they do so that they can. So there is always room to play, and maybe speak to your financial advisor or some of your accountability partners for you to really get ahead.
Excellent, very good. Some very good insights there. I wish we had the whole night to speak, but I know that your time is super precious. And at the same time, that our show isn't it's not going to be a very long episode, but otherwise, thank you so much, Dr. Samu, for, actually it's Dr. Dube, but I call you Dr. Samu. But thank you so much, Dr. Dube, for joining us once again. And all the best of luck with all your ventures as well. I am always excited about the stuff that you're delving into and challenged as well.
Thank you so much, Jolie. And to the listeners, I pray that they have hands and strength to execute whatever idea is in their mind. Thank you, Jolie. Have a lovely evening, Heather.
Thank you for watching Wealth at Work. We look forward to sharing more stories and profiling other dynamic entrepreneurs and business people. Please like and share and leave a comment telling us what topics you would like to see next. From me, Johnny Mokorosi, thank you and goodbye.
You never know when that basket is going to drop and all your eggs are gone. And so really it's about diversifying your risk. If something happens to that well-paying job, that you still have some income to support you. But also I think it also opens you up to additional opportunities for wealth creation, to have the capital to buy shares or buy property or buy crypto or put money in a bank account and earn interest. The first step is to actually have a surplus at the end of the month. And that's a difficult discipline for some of us to learn. And so it's so important that we learn that discipline. The one thing that I had to sacrifice we've had to sacrifice is those other things that you'd rather be spending your money on.